There is something about Jennie Kim that you genuinely cannot explain. You don't know why you can't look away. You don't know why she feels different from every other person in the room. And here is the uncomfortable truth. It has absolutely nothing to do with her looks, her fame, or her talent. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you are going to understand it completely. And once you do, you will not be able to unsee it. There is something about Jennie. And I do not mean that in the obvious way. I mean there is a quality about her. Something in the way she moves, the way she holds a room, the way the camera finds her even when she is not trying, that people genuinely cannot explain. You see it in the comments under every single red carpet clip, every interview, every stage performance. People write things like, "She has the aura," or "I do not know what it is, but I literally cannot look away." Or my personal favorite, "She is just built different. I don't know what else to say." But what if we could say? What if the thing that feels impossible to explain is actually very explainable the moment you know what to look for? That is what today is about. Because here is what started this whole line of thinking for me. There are women in the entertainment industry who are more famous than Jennie, more active on social media, more present in interviews, more accessible to the public. They give more, share more, show up more. And yet, nobody talks about them the way people talk about Jennie. Why? And once I started pulling on that thread, I could not stop. Because the answer is not talent. It is not beauty. It is not even really about Blackpink. It is something so much more interesting than any of that. Now, if you are new here or not deep in the K-pop world, a little context. Jennie is a South Korean artist and a member of girl group Blackpink, one of the best-selling music groups of all time. She's a Chanel global ambassador. She's been on the cover of every major fashion magazine you can think of. She recently launched her solo era to a response that was, frankly, enormous. She is, by any measure, one of the most recognized women in the world right now. But here is the thing. Fame alone does not create what Jennie has. You have seen plenty of famous people who feel forgettable, who you scroll right past, who you know are celebrities but feel nothing about. Jennie is not that. Jennie is the kind of woman who walks into a room full of equally famous, equally beautiful people and somehow becomes the most interesting person there. And I want to tell you exactly why. Because this is not really another video about Jennie. It is a video about you and the version of yourself you were in the process of becoming. Stay with me. Here is the first thing I want you to notice. Jennie is not everywhere. And I do not just mean she does not post on social media every day, though that is part of it. I mean she is deliberate about where she shows up, where she puts her energy, what she lets people see. Think about the world we live in. Most people in the public eye operate like content machines, posting daily, going live, sharing every opinion, every mood, every reaction. The more they share, the more people want. The more people expect, the more they have to give. And it becomes this exhausting cycle where you constantly have to offer more of yourself just to stay relevant. Jennie does not do this. And here is the fascinating part. The less she shares, the more people want. Think about food for a second. Even your absolute favorite meal. If you had it every single day, at some point you stop looking forward to it. The excitement fades. Not because the food changed, but because the rarity of it changed. Jennie has figured out something most people in the public eye forget. Scarcity does not just apply to objects. It applies to people. When you make yourself available to everyone,
all the time for any reason, you become ordinary. Not because you are ordinary, but because nothing about your presence feels like an event anymore. Jennie's presence still feels like an event. Every appearance is considered. Every post is intentional. And the result? People track her. They notice when she is absent. They wonder. They speculate. She has created genuine intrigue, not by performing mystery, but simply by being selective. And a lot of us were taught the opposite, that the way to be liked is to be available, to answer quickly, to show up to everything, to make yourself easy to reach. What if that has been quietly working against you?
Now, here is where it gets really interesting. Because when I describe Jennie's presence, you may assume I am talking about a woman who is cold, guarded, intimidating in a hard way. That is not it at all. Jennie is actually soft. She laughs easily. She is visibly playful. She wears her feelings on her face. She is not performing a hard exterior or pretending she is above emotion. And yet, nobody dismisses her. Nobody talks over her. Nobody treats her like a pushover. Why? I think about it like this. Have you ever noticed how differently you respond to a cat versus a golden retriever? A golden retriever will run up to literally anyone, tail going, absolutely delighted by whatever scrap of attention it gets. And we love them for it. But we never feel that particular pull of wanting to impress them, because they already love everyone. There is nothing to earn. A cat is different. A cat has standards. A cat chooses. And when a cat decides to come sit with you, that means something. It feels like something was earned. Jennie is the cat. Her warmth means something because it is not automatic. Her attention means something because it is not infinite. Her approval means something because it is not guaranteed. This is not about being cold. It is not about performing aloofness. It is about having a self that is full enough that your warmth is a gift, not a default. If you have ever been in a friendship or a dynamic where you gave and somehow ended up feeling invisible, this is the thing worth sitting with. Your warmth is valuable, but only if you treat it like it is. This one is underrated, and I think it might be the most important. Jennie clearly has standards. Standards about what she wears, who she works with, what she puts her name on, how she presents herself to the world. And she never, ever explains them. Think about how different that is from how most of us operate. We turn something down and immediately over-explain. Oh, it is just not really my thing. I mean, it is great. Other people would probably love it. I just personally... Stop. When you over-explain a decision, what you are communicating underneath it is, I am worried about your opinion of me for making this choice. Have you ever noticed that the women who feel the most secure, the most untouchable, they just decline? They just choose. They do not audition their decisions for other people's approval. Jennie's entire identity, the way she dresses, the brands she aligns with, the spaces she enters, communicates a standard she has never once felt the need to defend. And that silence, that refusal to justify, it is so much more powerful than any explanation she could give. Because here is the truth. Every time you explain a choice to someone who did not ask, you are handing them the power to approve or disapprove of it. You are making their reaction the thing that validates your decision. What would it feel like to just make the choice and be done?
No explanation. No apology. Just, this is what I want, and I am at peace with that.
Okay, this is the one. Of everything I have noticed about Jennie, this is the thing that most clearly separates her from the women who are famous, but not magnetic. She does not perform for approval. I want to be careful here because this is easy to misread. I am not saying she does not care at all what people think. I am saying she does not change herself in real time to secure your approval. She does not scan your face and then adjust what she was about to say. You have probably met someone like this in real life. Someone who just seems completely present, comfortable, not scanning the room to check if people are impressed by them. They are always the most interesting person there. Because here is what performing for approval actually does. When you are constantly calibrating yourself to keep everyone comfortable, constantly watching reactions and adjusting, you are not actually present. You are in your head. And people can feel it. They can feel the effort. They can sense the need underneath it. And instead of making them drawn to you, it quietly makes them less interested. Compare that to someone who is just there, who laughs at what actually strikes them as funny, who disagrees when they actually disagree, who does not need you to validate them before they finish a sentence. That is Jennie's energy. Not cold, not arrogant, just whole. I spent years wondering why I felt invisible in group settings, even though I was the most agreeable, most helpful, most go-along person in the room. I made everyone comfortable. I never said anything that could be wrong. I never rocked the boat. And I was invisible. Because magnetism is not the reward for being easy. Magnetism is what happens when you stop needing to be. And before we get to the part where this actually becomes something you can use, there is one more thing. The deepest layer. The thing that all of this actually adds up to. And once I name it, you are going to see it everywhere. Here is what all of this adds up to. Jennie Kim, and every woman like her who makes the whole room stop, has an interior life. A full, rich, private world that belongs entirely to her. Her choices are not reactions to what other people want from her. Her style is not optimized for approval. Her energy is not calibrated to whoever is in the room. She is living outward from her own center, not inward toward everyone else's expectations. When you watch someone like that, you are watching someone who has a self. And that is genuinely the most magnetic thing a person can have. Because most of us, if we are honest, have spent so long accommodating everyone around us that we have lost track of what our interior world even looks like anymore. We have been so busy being likable, we forgot to be interesting. The aura is not a trick. It is not a formula. It is not a filter or a posture or a wardrobe. And it is definitely not something you are born with. It is something you build. Deliberately, quietly, mostly when no one is watching. You build it the first time you turn something down and do not explain why. You build it when you stop responding to everyone within 2 minutes like your worth depends on it. You build it when you develop a real opinion and you hold it even when the room goes quiet. That is what Jennie has been doing. Not performing an aura, constructing one. And that is exactly what you are here to do too. Jennie did not wake up one day and simply decide to have an aura. She built one through choices, through consistency, through doing uncomfortable things until they became natural. And so can you.
I want you to try these 4 specific things this week. 1. Look at the people you respond to within 2 minutes, every time, no matter what you are doing. Now ask yourself, does that speed match the respect you get back from those same people? This is not about playing games. It is about one simple truth. The more instantly available you are, the less your presence registers as significant. Before you respond, finish what you are doing first. Your attention has value. Start treating it like it does. 2. Pick one choice you are about to make that you would normally over-explain. Say, I cannot make it. Full stop. That does not work for me. Full stop. Notice the wave of panic that follows, the urge to fill the silence with more words. Do not fill it. That discomfort is the old pattern. The new version stays put. 3. Women with this quality have something that is clearly theirs. An opinion, a taste, a hobby they do not hedge when they mention it. Find one thing this week, however small, and mention it without the disclaimer. No, I know it is kind of weird, but just, this is something I love. Full stop. 4. Notice the moments where you were about to say something honest and quietly changed it. You softened the opinion. You laughed at the end of a sentence to make it easier to dismiss. This week, catch it. And do not. Say the thing. Hold the thought. Let the silence be there. The world does not fall apart when you take up space.
The women you cannot look away from, they are not who they were 5 years ago. They made choices. They held standards when it was uncomfortable. They stopped explaining themselves before it felt natural. They did the things we just talked about. Probably badly at first, then better, then without thinking. The aura is not a personality type you either have or you do not. It is the result of 100 small decisions to stop making yourself smaller. You are not behind. You are not too far from it. You are literally in the process of building it right now. And that is the Jennie Kim effect in action. You just unlocked another layer at our Dream Vault, where we take the characters you love, the shows you binge, and the stories you can't forget, and we ask the questions that change everything. Because understanding them, that's how you understand you. So if you're ready to see your favorite stories differently, if you're ready to decode the meaning behind the drama, if you're becoming this person too, hit that subscribe button. Join the vault. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep questioning, and keep unlocking your vault. See you in the next unlock.